I was 32 when I bought the house on Aldrich Street. That was 7 years ago. I haven't slept properly since the third week. My name is Victor, and I need to tell you about the spare room. The one at the end of the upstairs hallway. I measured it from the outside, 12 feet by 10 feet. Standard bedroom size. But when you step inside, you realize something is wrong. The dimensions don't match. It's bigger. Not by a little. By a lot. I thought I was losing my mind at first. My sister Elena visited during the move and noticed it too. She stood in the doorway, staring. "Victor, this doesn't make sense," she said. Her voice was small. Scared, almost. We measured the interior together that afternoon. 20 feet by 18 feet. We checked our tape measure 3 times. Same result. The numbers didn't lie, but they didn't make sense either. Elena left before dinner. She hasn't come back since. The house came cheap. Too cheap. My realtor Marcus warned me. Previous owners left in a hurry, he said, shuffling papers at the closing. Didn't take much with them. Just walked away. He wouldn't look at the property disclosure forms directly. His hands shook slightly when he handed me the keys. I moved in on a Saturday in October. The air smelled like old wood and something else. Something metallic and cold. The spare room was empty except for a single chair facing the back wall. Dark wood, ornate carvings along the legs. Victorian, maybe. I moved it to the garage that first day. By Sunday night, it was back. I found it in the same spot, same angle, facing that wall. I lived alone. The doors were locked. I checked every window. Nothing. I dragged the chair outside to the curb for trash pickup. When I woke Monday morning, it sat in the room again. Waiting. I called Elena Tuesday evening around 7:45. She didn't want to talk about the house. "Just sell it, Victor," she said. "There's something wrong with that place." But I'd invested everything. My savings, my inheritance from our mother. I couldn't just walk away. "It's just a chair," I told her. "Probably some kind of prank." "Then explain the room," she said. The line went quiet. Explain why it's bigger inside than it should be. I couldn't. That night I locked the spare room door. I wedged a chair under the handle from the outside. At 2:30 in the morning, I woke to a sound. Not loud, just present. A low hum, like distant machinery or breathing. It came from upstairs, from that room. The chair I'd wedged was on the floor. The door stood open. Inside, the Victorian chair faced the wall. But something was different. The wall looked darker. Deeper somehow, like I was staring into a tunnel instead of painted plaster. I met my neighbor Petra on Wednesday morning. She was watering flowers, watching me load boxes from my car. Older woman, maybe 65, with sharp gray eyes that missed nothing. "You're in the Aldrich house," she said. Not a question. A statement. "Yeah, just moved in." She stopped watering. "How long you planning to stay?" "It's my house. I'm staying." Petra's expression shifted. Pity, maybe, or recognition. The last family made it 4 months. The couple before them, 6 weeks. There was a single man once. He lasted 3 days. She went inside without another word. I should have asked more questions. Should have demanded answers. Instead, I went back inside and stood in the hallway, staring at that closed door. The hum was still there. Quieter now. Almost soothing. Almost inviting. I opened the door. The room had grown again. The interior was now at least 30 feet deep. I paced it out, counting steps. The chair sat in the center, but the back wall had receded into darkness. My overhead light didn't reach it anymore. The shadows there were thick, solid, like they had weight and substance. I brought my toolbox and measuring tape. I documented everything. Measurements. Photographs. I even drew diagrams. The exterior walls measured exactly what they should, 12 by 10. But inside, the space defied physics. It defied everything. My friend Stefan came over Thursday evening. He's an architect. Rational, logical, skeptical about everything. He measured the room himself, checked the walls for hidden panels or mirrors. "This isn't possible," he said over and over. "This isn't possible." But it was happening. Stefan left around 10:15 that night. He called me Friday morning. I found something, he said. Previous owner. Name was Roman. He kept a journal. Posted about it online before he disappeared. Stefan sent me the link to Roman's blog. It was still active, frozen in time. The last post was dated 18 months ago. The title read, Day 87. It showed me something. Roman's entries detailed the same progression. The room growing. The chair appearing. The hum at night. But his later posts grew frantic, desperate. He wrote about shapes in the darkness at the back of the room. About voices calling his name. About the overwhelming urge to sit in that chair and stare at the wall. His final entry was short. I understand now. It's not bigger on the inside. It's smaller on the outside. There's a difference. I'm going in tonight to see how far it goes. If I don't post again, don't come looking. You won't find me. Roman never posted again. Police found the house empty. No signs of struggle. Just an open door to a spare room that shouldn't exist. I should have left. Should have walked away like Elena told me. But something kept me there. Curiosity, maybe. Or something worse. Friday night, 11:38. I stood in the doorway of the spare room with a flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness but didn't reach the back wall. The space had grown to at least 50 feet deep, maybe more. The chair sat alone in a sea of shadow. I stepped inside. The air was different here. Heavier. It pressed against my skin like water. The hum was louder now, not sound exactly, but vibration. I felt it in my chest, my bones. Each step took effort, like walking through invisible resistance. The chair seemed closer than it should be. I hadn't moved toward it, but it was right there. 5 feet away. 4 feet. I could see the carvings clearly now. They weren't decorative. They were symbols. Letters. Words in a language I didn't recognize but somehow understood. They said sit, what, learn. Behind me, the door slammed shut. The sound echoed forever. When I turned, the door was gone. Just wall. Smooth, seamless, impossible. I was trapped inside with the chair and the darkness and whatever waited at the back of the room. Panic hit first. I pounded on where the door should be, screaming for help. My voice disappeared into the space, swallowed by the hum. Minutes passed. Hours, maybe. Time felt wrong in here. Stretched and compressed simultaneously. Then I heard it. Footsteps. But not from outside. From deeper in the room. From the darkness I couldn't see into. Someone was in here with me. Victor. My name, spoken in a voice I recognized. Elena. But Elena was miles away. She wouldn't come here. She was afraid. Victor, come sit down. You need to see. I turned toward the chair. Elena sat in it now, facing the back wall. Her hair hung loose around her shoulders. She wore the dress from our mother's funeral. But something was wrong. Her proportions were off. Too tall. Too thin. Her neck bent at an angle that made my stomach turn. You're not Elena, I whispered. The thing in the chair turned. Its face was my sister's, but the eyes were bottomless. Empty. Neither are you, it said. Not anymore. Not once you sit here. Not once you see what the room wants to show you. I ran. Stumbled backward into the darkness, away from the chair and the thing wearing my sister's face. But the room resisted. Every step was like wading through mud. The hum intensified, became words I couldn't quite hear but felt in my skull. Sit, what, learn, stay. The walls pulsed. Breathing. The room was alive. It had always been alive. The space didn't grow because of architecture or physics. It grew because it fed. On curiosity. On fear. On people stupid enough to stay. I crashed into something solid. A wall. But this wall had texture. Grooves and ridges. I pulled out my flashlight and shined it up. Names. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. Carved into the surface. Roman's name was there, fresh and deep. Above it, others I didn't recognize. Below it, blank space. Waiting. At the very bottom, carved shallow and recent, I saw Victor Day 5. I hadn't carved that. I'd only been aware of the room for 5 days. But something new. Something was keeping track. My phone had no signal. No time display. The battery was full but frozen at 87%. I tried the flashlight app, the camera, anything. The phone functioned but couldn't connect to reality, to the outside. The thing that looked like Elena was gone when I turned back. The chair sat empty, but the darkness at the room's far end had changed. It wasn't just shadow anymore. It was depth. Real, physical depth. I could see into it now. See what the room truly was. It went down. Not back, but down. A shaft descending into earth that shouldn't exist beneath my house. And far below, something glowed. Faint, pulsing, organic. Like bioluminescence. Like a heartbeat. The room hummed in rhythm with that distant light. I heard voices then. Real ones. Petra's voice from outside. Victor, are you home? Your sister called me. She's worried. Victor, if you're in that room, you need to come out now. Before it's too late. I screamed for help until my throat was raw. Petra never responded. She couldn't hear me. The room wouldn't let her. I don't know how long I searched for a way out. Hours. Days. The room didn't care about time. It existed outside of it, or maybe time existed differently here. My watch had stopped at 11:41, the moment the door had vanished. I found other things carved into the walls. Not just names. Messages. Warnings from previous occupants. It shows you what you want to see. Don't believe it. The chair is a lie. Don't sit. Don't sit. I've been here 6 months. My family thinks I'm dead. Maybe I am. There's no bottom. I've been walking for weeks. Still descending. That last one terrified me most. I looked at the shaft, the descending darkness with its pulsing light. Had someone walked down there? Were they still walking? The chair creaked behind me. I spun around. Nobody sat in it, but it had moved. Closer now. Always closer. The carvings on its legs seemed to writhe in my flashlight beam. The symbols shifted, rearranged, spelled out new messages. You will sit eventually. They all do. On what might have been the third day or third hour, I couldn't tell. I heard new sounds. Scraping. Dragging. Something moving in the shaft below. Coming up. I pressed myself against the wall of names, making myself small. The sounds grew louder. Closer. Whatever approached was large. Heavy. It moved with purpose. Then I saw it emerge from the darkness. A figure. Human shape, but wrong. It dragged itself forward on too many joints, limbs bent backwards, head tilted at an impossible angle. As it entered the dim light from my failing flashlight, I recognized the clothes. The face. Roman. The previous owner. But not anymore. He'd been here 18 months. The room had changed him. His mouth opened. Dust fell out. His voice was the hum, the vibration, the heartbeat of this place. It's not so bad, he said. Once you stop fighting. Once you sit. Once you watch what it shows you. You become part of something bigger. Older. Something that was here before houses. Before cities. Before we thought we understood space and dimensions. He crawled toward me. Sit, Victor. Let me show you what I learned. I ran. Sprinted through the impossible space, past the chair, toward where the door should be. Roman followed, but his movements were wrong, jerking, and unnatural. The room helped him. Extended his reach. Bent distance to bring him closer. My flashlight died. Darkness swallowed everything. I slammed into walls, corners, surfaces that shouldn't exist. The hum was deafening now. The vibration shook my teeth, my bones, my thoughts. Then my hand found it. A seam. A crack in the wall where the door had been. I clawed at it, fingernails breaking, hands bleeding. The crack widened. Light poured through. Real light, hallway light, light from my actual house. Roman's hand grabbed my ankle. His grip was cold, wrong, not flesh, but something else. Don't leave, he whispered. You're almost ready. Almost changed. Stay. Sit. Watch. I kicked backward. Felt something crunch. His grip loosened. I shoved myself through the crack, through the seam, through the barrier between the room and reality. I collapsed in my hallway. The door was closed behind me. Solid. Normal. locked from the outside with a chair I'd wedged there days ago. But I just come from inside. I'd just been in there. Stefan found me 6 hours later. I'd passed out in the hallway. My hands were bloody, clothes filthy. I'd lost 12 pounds. My watch showed 11:43, 2 minutes after I'd entered the room. But I'd been inside for days. I knew it. My body knew it. The spare room door was gone. Where it should have been was just wall. Seamless. Petra confirmed it. "This hallway's always been like this," she said gently. "No door. No room. Just wall." But I'd been inside. I had blood under my fingernails and memories carved into my mind. Stefan showed me photos he'd taken on Thursday when he measured everything. The photos showed a normal spare room. 12 by 10. No chair. No darkness. No shaft. "You've been under stress," he said. "New house. Financial pressure. Maybe you should see someone." I wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe I'd imagined everything. But that night, at 2:37 a.m., I heard it. The hum, coming from inside my walls, from beneath my floor, from somewhere that wasn't there but had always been there. And I understood. Roman was right. The room wasn't bigger on the inside. The room was the real size. Everything else, my house, my street, my entire world, was smaller, compressed. A thin layer of reality stretched over something vast and hungry and patient. I sold the house 3 weeks later. Took a massive loss. Elena helped me move. We didn't talk about what happened. She didn't ask why the hallway was different, why there was no door where a door should be. But sometimes late at night, I hear the hum. In my new apartment, in hotels, in my car on empty highways. It's always there, just beneath perception. Waiting, reminding me. I measured my bedroom closet last week, 6 feet by 4 feet from the outside. I haven't opened the door. I don't want to know what I'll find, because I know what the room taught me, what Roman learned, what everyone who stays too long eventually understands. Space isn't fixed. Dimensions aren't real. We live on the surface of something bigger, older, hungrier than we can comprehend. And sometimes, in certain places, the surface wears thin. Sometimes a room is just a room. But sometimes it's a mouth. And it's been chewing slowly at the edges of our reality since long before we built houses and convinced ourselves we were safe inside them. I still have the chair. It showed up in my new apartment. I don't remember moving it. But it's here, in my living room, facing the wall. Waiting. One day, I know I'll sit. We all do eventually. The room taught me that too. And when I do, I'll finally see what's at the bottom of that shaft. I'll finally understand why the light pulses like a heartbeat. I'll finally learn what's been calling my name from the spaces between spaces. And maybe, just maybe, I'll find Roman down there. Still walking. Still descending. Still becoming part of something that was never meant to fit inside the geometry we call home.